Yeah, it seemed like the early afternoon snow caught almost everyone off guard, especially drivers. Spinning tires, sliding stops, and accidents were a common problem today on the roads just outside campus. The early afternoon snowfall caused problems for students driving to and from campus. The biggest problem seemed to be Mill Street at the Poplar and Oakland intersections. We caught the aftermath of this fender bender at the Oakland intersection, and SIUC student Ashley Blessing says the slick roads caught her by surprise.
I was going to slow down at a stop sign, and I just slid right through it and had an accident.
She wasn't the only one to get in a snow-related accident. We caught this one at the Mill and Poplar intersection. In all, Carbondale police responded to about 20 snow-related accidents. Salt trucks were out trying to keep up with the slick roads, but that didn't keep some drivers from some sudden stop dings and dents. Accidents weren't the only issue. The snow also slowed down the Saluki Express bus line. Some students we talked to off camera said their bus was over 15 minutes late. Reporting live on campus, David Aid. Gabby, Jenna, back to you. If you're leaving Carbondale for spring break, this is one of the most important things you can do. SIU Public Safety Officer Russ Thomas says also make sure you take your valuable items.
Do not leave expensive items laying out. If they're going home, they probably ought to take their laptop with them, those type of things.
Even after locking their rooms, sometimes students come back and find things missing from their room.
The thing I would do is call the police. Call the SIU non-emergency number, police department, 453-3771, and report that you have some items missing from your room.
But Jason Gilman says students are in the most danger when they're in the car.
The most dangerous thing that students will do during spring break is drive to their destination. So if they're traveling long distances, that's the most dangerous activity.
Gilman says he knows most students will consume alcohol during break, but doesn't condone binge drinking.
So we understand that students are not necessarily going to choose to abstain from alcohol, negative sexual behaviors. We want people just to be as safe as they can.
Now, if you're 21, it's okay to party. But before you start overdoing it, mixing too many drinks, remember responsibility, because each additional drink has its consequences.
If they're going to be in that type of environment, be responsible. Know what's going on around you at all times.
Gilman says a lack of responsibility can lead to alcohol poisoning, which could turn fatal.
If you're experiencing any of those symptoms, trouble breathing, blacking out, immense serious headaches, and nausea to where you're having a hard time keeping fluids in, you need to go to the hospital.
From Carbondale, David Aid, Evening Edition. This is a common sight for motorists in November. There seem to be as many deer on the road as cars. But why?
This time of year is the beginning of the breeding season for deer, and the males are becoming very active, moving around looking for females.
Normally, deer are aware of cars and are careful not to run out in front of them. But during breeding season, that changes.
The males are very much wanting to stay with that female to keep another male from moving in on her, and the female is distracted because she's being chased, and so they may not be aware that a car is coming, and they may also not be in an area that they're familiar with, and so they may not be knowing that that's a road right there and that they should be cautious.
You can take steps to help you avoid hitting a deer, like slowing down, beeping, or flashing your brights. But sometimes that's not enough. So what do you do if you end up hitting a deer?
The first thing to do is make sure that your car is still in safe condition to drive, and if you feel that it's not, I would find a safe location to pull over and call the authorities, and maybe even call a towing service.
IDOT patrols the roads daily during this time of the year to pick up deer, but sometimes they may miss some.
We'll call the authorities to make sure that they're aware that there is still a deer that may be on the pavement that could cause a problem for other motorists.
Most injuries from deer-related crashes happen because people try to avoid the deer, instead hit other cars.
When you do see a deer, you slow down, you stay off the cell phones, and always wear your seatbelt, and never, ever drive into the opposing lane of traffic to avoid a deer or running off the road.
The breeding season starts about now and will last until the end of December. From Carbondale, David Aid, Evening Edition. To attorney, to U.S. Senator, SIU alum Roland Burris has done a lot in his lifetime, but today he decided to give back to the university where it all started.
We have papers from his Washington, D.C. office and from his offices in Chicago, Springfield, and Carbondale.
The papers are a collection of his records from his term as U.S. Senator as well as his Illinois Comptroller and Attorney General terms. Burris says SIU was the perfect place to receive the papers.
This is a place that I am very, very grateful for because I had 4 wonderful years here at Southern Illinois University.
The documents are especially interesting because of the work Burris did on several high-profile bills.
The stimulus package, the healthcare legislation, the financial reform bill. Roland Burris had a hand in all of those.
Nearly 100 boxes containing Burris's work will now be held at the Special Collections Research Center in the Morris Library and will be available for student research, including notes from Burris's most talked about speech from the Senate floor.
The night before Christmas and all through the Senate, no one would have the healthcare bill no matter what was in it.
In Carbondale, David Aid, Evening Edition.